Hi Cancer and Cancer Rising. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Venus Green and thank you so much for returning to watch the June horoscopes. May brought its fair share of challenges both personally and professionally here. So we are stepping into June with resilience and grace though. But your continued presence here means the world to me, and I just wanted to express my gratitude. So back to this month, I am offering horoscopes in two parts to bring more clarity and depth to your journey. Well, this video is going to focus on the first half of June. That's going to include the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th. So let's take a closer look at what's unfolding up until the moon for you. Now, as a Cancer rising, the moon is your chart ruler, and this month she reaches maximum brightness in Sagittarius on the 11th. So that's going to land in your 6th house. Health, routines, daily responsibilities, and work-life balance. This full moon is part of a Grand Mutable Cross involving the sun in Gemini, moon in Sagittarius, and the nodes, which are in Pisces and Virgo. This is a time of intense realization and adjustment around how you manage your time, your energy, and your commitments. All of those need a review. Probably going to be seeing some themes of burnout, possibly overcommitment, and or maybe neglecting your wellness might be coming to the surface around this time. This moon wants you to acknowledge the rhythms in your life that you have that nourish you and the ones that need a serious overhaul. And you know what those are, Cancer. All right, Mars is going to continue that journey through Leo in your 2nd house. So it's personal finances, value, and income. This placement is going to light a little fire under your financial goals, and it's probably going to spark a desire to assert more independence in either how you earn or spend or both. However, around the 15th of the month, Mars is going to square up to Uranus in your 11th house of community and long-term vision. Now, this is probably going to bring some surprises or disruptions involving things like group finances, collaborations, probably even some unexpected expenses that are tied to social plans. Now, two things that are very wise for you to pay attention to this month. One, leave extra room in your budget, i.e. savings, for unexpected expenses. And also try to take note if you are clashing with a group of friends over things like values or boundaries. On the 8th, Mercury is going to move into Cancer, and then Jupiter is going to follow right behind on the 9th. So both of those will be landing in your 1st house of self, identity, and personal expression. This is a pretty big shift for you, Cancer. You might feel more vocal, more confident, and really more eager to share your story or express your truth in some way. Now, Mercury here is sharpening your mind and it increases your visibility. Jupiter, though, begins this year-long journey that can bring personal growth, opportunities, and renewal to your self-belief. You're probably going to feel really inspired to change your appearance. Some of you might be thinking about starting a new personal project. Some of you are simply going to feel like you're just stepping into more space or allowing yourself to take up more space. Just note that Jupiter is going to square up to Saturn and Neptune. That could create some emotional overwhelm or possibly push you to take on too much all at once. So pace yourself, all right? Jupiter's journey through your 1st house is awesome for you. I would say if that's the message of the next 12 months for you, is absolutely pace yourself, Cancer. All right. Venus begins June in, Aries. That's your 10th house, where she's going to be shining her light on your public image, your career path, and your achievements. Now, if you've been working really hard towards some goal or you've been seeking recognition in this area of your life, this might be the time when you see some progress come from that. Then on the 6th, Venus is going to enter Taurus in your 11th house. This is community, friendships, and aspirations. This is a much more supportive placement for things like team efforts, doing some networking, and probably reconnecting with your bigger vision, right, for your overall life. Now, there could be some really sweet moments with friends here. Or you could also be feeling that you are just aligning with people who truly support your growth. Both of those things are possible. You're probably going to have some really good opportunities to collaborate, and especially with women or some artistic types of some kind. Those things are favored for you. Routines and the relationship that you have with being of service. This full moon could reveal where you have been overextending yourself in some way. It's an opportunity to take a look at that and to figure out how to rework your schedule or possibly begin to say no to some things. It's also probably going to reveal where you have been tolerating some inefficiencies in your own workflow, right? So where you could probably gain back time if you reorganized or remanaged, reshuffled. Now, if you're feeling really drained, or some of you might be feeling like you're unappreciated at work, this is going to be the moon where you see the turning point from that. For some of you, you might see a health concern that comes into a little bit clearer focus. And whichever scenario you are experiencing, you're likely to realize that it's your day-to-day life that needs an entirely new rhythm, right? That's the overhaul that's happening. Now, with the South Node in Virgo in your 3rd house, it's time to release old patterns of things like overthinking, micromanaging, always needing to do more. That North Node in Pisces is inviting you to have a more holistic and intuitive approach to how you organize your time and your energy. Now, for a soul check-in, how you're probably going to see the energy manifest around the time of this moon. Well, some of you are going to be realizing that there is a certain work habit or maybe a task that is no longer sustainable for you. That's something that you need to give up or repurpose that time. Some of you are going to be gaining a little bit of clarity around a health or a nutrition practice that you hold. You might be thinking about making a change to that or maybe beefing it up, taking it to the next level. And then some of you might be making a decision to step back from a role or a responsibility that has felt like it's draining you. Whichever of these or other, not that these are the only, but whatever you're experiencing around the time of this, the best use, the most practical way you could use the energy of this full moon would be to take the first 3 days before, 3 days after. That's the span of the full moon energy there. And think about, what does my body need to feel supported for this month, right? Be present with what's happening right now. Where am I overcomplicating? Where am I overcommitting? Whether that's your time, whatever. Figure out how you can create more room for sacred rest and for conscious productivity, not just completing tasks. All right. In the second half of June, we are going to dive into the new moon in Cancer and Mars entering Virgo. Plus, we'll get a little more detailed about Jupiter's journey through your 1st house here. This first half of June is your invitation to honor your energy, to realign with your priorities, and to embrace a gentler rhythm of self-care. If you feel so compelled, we would love to hear from you in the comments what it is that you are releasing around the time of this full moon. And of course, Cancer rising, your energy is precious. Take the time to tend to yourself, because